Hello friends and welcome to Breaking Woke, how to identify, debunk, and dismantle dangerous ideas. My name is Douglas Kruger, I'm the author of the global new book, Political Correctness Does More Harm Than Good. In woke culture today, our progressive friends in the UK leap to new and Olympian heights of leftist absurdity. Chances are, by now you've heard about this laughable story out of Brighton and Sussex University hospitals. Instructing medical staff, it's no longer breastfeeding, say chest feeding instead. And of course all the attendant garbage about not mentioning differences between male and female men and women. I can't help seeing Dr. Evil. Would you like a suckle of my zipple? Anyway, let us debunk. Firstly, at the most simple level, this is cringeworthy in an embarrassingly comical sort of way. And compliance with it smacks of the crowd all glazing over and praising the emperor's new clothes as though they were really there. Asking trained medical professionals to do this with a straight face it's somehow like insisting that a dignified international ambassador now has to walk around with his finger up his nose. It's on the same level. You're making intelligent and dedicated people look stupid. Number 2. Men can't breastfeed. Gasp! I can't believe he said this thing that is verifiably true in 100% of cases and has been so since the dawn of human history. Fact is, men can't breastfeed. It's not possible. So why do this? What is the motivation? Well, it's premised on this presumed sameness between the sexes that is false. It is false psychologically. It is false biologically. It is false genetically. It is false socially. It is false historically. Pick your category, it is false every which way. Number 3, given that this presumed sameness is false, this dishonors and diminishes what is unique about women. Has the left stopped honoring women? Well, feel free if you are a chauvinist, woman-oppressing leftist. But for my part, I don't want to. I want to honor women based on beautiful distinction. Conservatives believe that diversity and difference are wonderful, even if liberals don't. And even as liberals push to achieve uniform sameness, a depressing goal that seems to somehow limit life. Number 4. This helps no one. If your argument is that gender roles perpetuate violence against women, well, firstly, you're acknowledging that there is such a thing as a woman, so you are already in a state of contradiction and cognitive dissonance. Secondly, go and count the number of women who will now cease to encounter violence because a nurse in a hospital has started saying chest feeding to new parents. Or let me save you some research time, the number will be 0, representing no change. Therefore, this does nothing and is meaningless. Number 5. Here's a fun one. If you as a leftist genuinely believe in removing gender from human societies, then you will suddenly find yourself at war with every ethnic grouping on Earth, where gender roles are typically stronger and more clearly delineated than in the West. So, does that make you a racist as a liberal? As a progressive, are you now anti-ethnic, anti-tribal? Are you a racist? Are you something now of a prescriptive white supremacist trying to undo ethnic tribal ways? If not, why not? Why not? Consider, only weird white liberals believe this crap. So go into a Zulu village, go into a Hindu village, go into an Arabic town or a Maori community, and then tell them that they're living wrong. Tell them that they must stop doing things like traditional dances in which men and women play different roles, stop speaking about anomalies like mothers and breasts, and they must undo their tribal, traditional, and ethnic norms because you, as a white liberal, say so. I can't wait to see this experiment carried out. But go on, if you believe this nonsense, then you will find the greatest concentrated representation of male-female distinction in ethnic and tribal human groupings. If you really believe you're right, go and tell them that they are living wrong, and have been doing so over the generations. And if you don't, either you're a hypocrite who doesn't really believe this woke nonsense, or you lack the courage of your convictions to champion this cause in the real world where gender roles are strongest. Suggestion: Let me give you a way out of this one. Are you actually just propagating this stuff in Western society because the goal is to pull down Western society? To replace only Western societal norms with some sort of a Marxist mess? Just a thought. Is that actually your motivation? If so, be honest about it and tell us. We'd like to know. Number 6. Male-female reproductive biology has been the unequivocal, life-giving fact at the center of our species' existence for millions of years. But you, in this generation, for the first time in human history, standing on top of all of that, now think that this fact is bad. It is evil, it is oppressive, that uteruses and mammary glands are not life-giving female characteristics of the species, but rather instruments of social oppression, of which to be ashamed, and about which never to talk, for fear of perpetuating harm. This can only be because you are, and please pick one here, insane, or anti-human, or anti-life, or anti-science, or anti-evolutionary biology, or just a general troublemaker of the kind who used to make up dumb playground rules and then shout at the other kids for not following them. You're the first generation in human history that thought that that was a good idea, and I'm sure you're right. Number 7. This is being recommended in medical facilities. When my life or my wife's life may be on the line, I insist that doctors and nurses understand and believe in important differences in male and female anatomy and biology. Failing that, will that be successfully removed? Will they try to give me a hysterectomy? Will they try to give her a circumcision? And if they don't, are they oppressors? Just how stupid and medically inefficient or factually deficient does this become as we all pretend to play your woke games? Number 8. This privileges a tiny minority over the massive majority. The thinking is that transgender male to female people are to be reassured that they are women too. That's what's actually going on here. The percentage of transgender males to females is so vanishingly small that to measure it across human populations, you begin with 0 point. And then you fill in your numbers. It is less than 1%. And of these, the percentage who can, in fact, give birth and breastfeed is 0. So, in effect, to cater to the feelings of the 0% of male-born humans who can give birth and breastfeed, you insist that we must desex and linguistically deconstitute all women and that trained medical professionals must play along with this. And you don't believe that you are a cartoon villain. How extraordinary. Number 9. Finally, the very idea that gender is a social construct, which underpins all of this mess, all of this nonsense, is the most debunked and untrue pseudo-science in modern history. I know its history, I wonder if you do. I believe you should find out. It comes from fraudulent scientist and child sex abuser Dr. John Money. Above is the link to the video in which I detail his academic fraud and how he started this now popular falsity that gender is a social construct. It isn't. Take a look at the video in order to understand how wrong this idea is and how evil this so-called scientific experiment underpinning it was. And these people at this medical facility, these medical facilities, have taken this fraudulent finding as though it were true and run with it as only woke, anti-scientific social justice warriors can do. Well folks, that's just today's leftist lunacy. Blink and there'll be more, and we will go ahead and debunk it. That's the point of the channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. My name is Douglas Kruger. I'm the author of the global new book, Political Correctness Does More Harm Than Good.